Hello and welcome to a new season of BuffSports Live. I'm Lina Takahashi.
And I'm Vinay Simlat. We've got a jam-packed show full of sports to get to. We have tons of basketball, some cross-country, and tennis to tell you about.
But we're going to start with last night's men's basketball game. And the men were looking to avenge the football team's loss to Oregon State. They were up 31-3, RIP Mac.
28 points. Tres Tinkle, the 6'8 freshman, maybe the best player in the Pac-12, came to town with his 20 points per game, and we'll pick it up in the first half with Shane Gatling, the JUCO transfer, starting things off for himself with the three. And then we've got Dalen Kuntz. Look at him driving inside from the left side. Takes it and one. He's a freshman, folks. Against Oregon State, he makes the and one. The Buffaloes had good guard play in the first half. They lead by 5.
And in the second half, Oregon State cuts into CU's lead. Buffs lead by 1. Shane Gatling, another 3. He had 15 with 4 assists. Then Alfred Hollins answers with a 3 to put Oregon State up by 1. That's their first lead of the second half.
You see that Deshaun Schwartz 3. It turns into a shootout. The Buffaloes going back and forth with Oregon State. But here come the Beavers with that dunk. That puts them up for the rest of the game. The Buffs start fouling, and that's it.
And Stephen Thompson Jr. led the Beavers with 21 points, and McKinley Wright was the leading scorer for CU with 18 points. Oregon State beat Colorado 76-74.
That's Colorado's second straight loss. They were leading in both losses. Colorado drops to 2-6 in Pac-12 play, and thank God we got him to break it all down. The smartest man in all of sports, Jack Stern, has more.
Well, for much of the season, it's been a tale of two halves for the Colorado Buffaloes men's basketball team, and last night was no different. Led by 16 points from point guard McKinley Wright, the Buffs were able to get out to a 6-point lead at half over the third-place Oregon State Beavers. Unfortunately, the second half was much of the same as the Beavers were able to squeeze out a 2-point victory led by 21 points from Ethan Thompson and 19 from the coach's son, Tres Tinkle. Colorado has little time to feel sorry for themselves as they have another game in just over 24 hours against the Oregon Ducks, who are coming off a commanding victory against the Utah Utes. Outside the CU Event Center, I'm Jack Stern, BuffSports Live.
Both basketball teams had disappointing losses to Stanford last weekend. The men's team on Saturday night and the women's team on Friday. To be fair, the women's team for Stanford is ranked 7th in the nation, but the men's and women's teams jumped out to big leads in the first half. The men's team up by about 20, and the women's team leading by 8 in the first half. Then in the second half, things imploded. Both teams were outscored. The men ended up losing by 13, and the women by 31.
And it hasn't been a good season for the women's team, who also lost to Cal here at home. And they've been playing without their superstar point guard, Kennedy Leonard. Here's Coach J.R. Payne on that and more.
Wildly proud of our team tonight. We're in all of these games that we're playing against really fantastic ball clubs. Other people, sort of outside want maybe us to feel sorry for ourselves, but that's just not in our makeup. We'll play fantastic basketball and beat our opponent for 3 quarters. Really proud of our team for their attitude, their effort, their toughness in adversity. We believe that we can compete with any team that comes in here or any team that we face.
And now it's time for this week's trivia question. This is a fun one. We ask you, when was the last time we talked about Phil Lindsay on this show? We love ourselves a Tasmanian Devil, so it might not be that long ago, but who knows? The answer will be later in the show.
And if you stay tuned, we might talk about Phil in this show, too.
That's true, maybe.
After the break, we're bringing back one of our favorite segments, 60 Seconds with the Buff.
Shane Gatling tells us about his journey to Colorado and how he is getting accustomed to Colorado's offensive play. Stick around.
Circle, circle, circle.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mic up on 2. All right, take 1. And fade camera 2. Take 3. Ready, red. Roll red. Take cam 1. Take red. Take it. Come on, roll red. Let's go. All right.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm just calling the show.
There's no show.
Team had an impressive 4-3 win against New Mexico on Wednesday. Colorado won 4 of the 6 matches and didn't win a single doubles match. Coach Danielle Steinberg was impressed with her team's moxie and proud that they were able to bounce back from their loss against Air Force. Next up, they're headed to Minneapolis this weekend for 2 matches against DePaul and Montana.
The shooter, the slasher, the scorer has become a fan favorite for the Buffaloes.
In the last 5 games, he's averaged double figures, including his career-high 21 points against Utah.
That's right. Shane tells us about his journey to Colorado and his bond with his teammates in this week's edition of 60 Seconds with a Buff.
I think my best strength is shooting, and shooting and scoring. I don't want to just say shooter because I feel like I could score on all 3 levels. I can attack the rim, shoot a pull-up and make threes, and I could also make plays for myself and others, like making extra passes, driving by my defender, dropping it off to a big or something like that, and also making energy plays. I think I got more comfortable as the season went on, and I'm feeling more confident in my shot. You know, I'm getting more shots up in the gym with Coach English, and Coach Ron, Coach Nate.
Pass on the left block, taken by Alex. Give and go, back to Gatling, laying with the right hand is up and good.
I went to Indian Hills Community College in Iowa, and you know, in junior college you get recruited again. So I try my best to get recruited by everybody. I came on my visit. McKinley hosted me, and I met everybody. I met the whole team, and I just fell in love with the campus, and I committed on my visit. Like, even on my visit, I felt like they were my brothers. Like, I felt like they wanted me to come here. So, and JUCO is more of a selfish thing, and here at Colorado is more of a team brotherhood. You know, like everybody's listening to each other, everybody's trying to help each other out. Yeah, we're all very close. Outside of practice, outside of the classroom, we're always together. We all love each other, we all help each other, and we all hang out with each other off the court.
Wow, I mean, Shane Gatling opening up to us about his brotherhood with his teammates. That's awesome.
Yeah, and Tad Boyle loves him, loves his offensive performance, but not as much as we love Phil Lindsay.
That's true. We love Phil Lindsay. And Colin Bailey is in the studio to tell us about Phil and his eventful weekend.
The love story continues after the break.
They were nervous and inexperienced, as new faces looking to achieve greatness. As the years went on, they grew confident in their abilities. Maybe. Yes, sir! Now they look to guide others in the same pursuit.
There it is! Can you believe it?
All are welcome to be featured on the biggest stage.
Is it his time?
We invite you to discover what you're capable of at BuffSports Live.
Playing other stuff? We're doing a report.
What's up? It's Colin Bailey here with Buff Banner. As many of you know, the Super Bowl is this upcoming Sunday, and while no Buff alums will be participating in this game, the same cannot be said for the Pro Bowl last week. CU Buffs alum Philip Lindsay made history by becoming the first undrafted rookie to be selected to the Pro Bowl, which of course made us all cheer at first, and then made us feel even worse when he suffered a wrist injury on Christmas Eve. Since he was unable to play, Lindsay was originally not going to the Pro Bowl in Orlando, but then the Broncos and NFL stepped in and paid for all of his travel expenses and even giving him an active role as the media correspondent for the week. He also went to Disney World with fellow Giants rookie and Pro Bowler Saquon Barkley and ran the NFL Twitter page, going to practices and interviewed fellow players. And here's a fun fact for all you Lindsay fans out there. If you spotted an energetic Broncos fan with an orange fro, you may have actually spotted him. Take a look.
I feel Lindsay not love the Pro Bowl.
Boy, am I jealous I wasn't in Orlando last week. Guys, back to you.
What? I wish I got a free trip to Orlando too. but maybe escape this Colorado winter. Our guys Mitch Sanchez and James Margulis actually escaped the Colorado weather. They're in Arizona right now with the hockey team. Here's James with a report on how their weekend is going.
I'm James Margulis here in Tempe, Arizona after the Colorado Buffaloes defeated the Arizona State Wildcats 4-0 after an outstanding performance by Jacob Cerullo, who recorded 26 saves, not allowing a single goal. Also before the game, Joe Kinsella mentioned this. And you guys are coming off 5 straight wins. How do you continue to play well and continue and build off of that momentum?
You know, I think it's a lot to do with everyone pulling the ropes together now. We had a slow start to the season with a lot of young guys, and now that they got some games under their belt, they're doing a good job of doing what kind of the team game plan is. Not that they have a better understanding of it as they play the games. So
Joe Kinsella continued his hot play tonight against the Sun Devils, getting the Buffaloes on the board first with an early goal. The Buffaloes' forecheck was also a success tonight, and we also heard that from head coach of the Buffs, Eric Ballard.
You know what? We never want to pull back the reins at all. We want to go. So we won't change our game plan. We'll be aggressive on our forecheck just like we have for the first 40, and we need to make sure that we shore up those parts of our game. So no reason to play a trap or sit back and wait and let them come to us. We're going to take it to them in the third like we did the first 2 periods.
The Buffaloes have now won 6 straight games, dating all the way back to Friday, November 30th, where they got a win over their rival CSU in overtime. Tomorrow and Saturday, the Buffaloes will be taking on the Arizona Wildcats in Tucson, Arizona. The number 6th ranked Wildcat team won today against CSU by a score of 2-0. The Buffaloes will be looking to win 7 and 8 straight tomorrow and Saturday. I'm James Margulis. Back to you at the desk.
And the CU Invitational is happening here on campus today at the track and field complex. The women's team has gotten 2nd place in the pentathlon. And for the men's side, Josh Farmer is in 1st place, and he got 3rd place in the 60-meter dash earlier today.
I kind of wish I was with Mitch and James in Arizona. It seemed fun.
Yeah. I just want that 70-degree Arizona weather. But speaking of warm weather, we've got rapid fire coming up. Stay tuned.
Diversity. Diversity is defined as being the concept of encompassing acceptance and respect. It means understanding that each individual is unique. Like a puzzle, each of us are our own piece with unique edges and curves. No piece is carved out of the same mold. With diversity, not all of us fit together perfectly. But with acceptance and effort, each individual can come together to complete a puzzle and live in harmony.
Hey, I'm Abby Schermacher with your Rapid Fire this week. Cross country starts off the week at home at their indoor invitational. Head over to the indoor practice facility tomorrow to support the team. Men's basketball is at home playing Oregon tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Show up to support your Buffs. Women's basketball will be in Oregon this weekend. The game tips off at 1 p.m. on the Oregon live stream. The Buffs are still looking for their first Pac-12 win, but they'll have to do it against one of the best teams in the NCAA. The ski team is competing at the New Mexico Invitational today and tomorrow in the slalom classical and slalom freestyle. That's all for this week. Good luck to our fellow Buffs, and back to you.
Thanks, Abby. And now it's time for the answer to that trivia question. I'm sure you're all wondering what it was.
Remember, we asked you, when was the last time we talked about Phil Lindsay on our show?
The answer, drumroll please, was November 30th.
Wow.
It's been a minute since we talked about him, actually.
Actually, it's just been one show, but kudos to us for having the willpower to go a whole show without mentioning Phil, even though we did again today.
How could we not? We love him. But
What's not to love?
I mean, okay, true. I mean, we love him. But we should do a 60 seconds with a buff with him, I think, next time.
Yeah, we can ask him how he keeps his hair looking so voluptuous. You think I could rock that haircut?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't think so. But it would be a good story for sure.
And then we'll ask him about the Broncos, too, just in case.
Okay, well, I mean, we can start planning now, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the show, Buffs. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you here next week.